Thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. On today's review, we take a look at the Bandai SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z Majin Buu. Today, I'll be scoring this figure in 6 categories: accessories, articulation, design, is it essential to your collection, functionality, and price. Once the scores are totaled, I'll give you my opinion if this is a pass or a purchase. So for accessories, Buu comes with 3 head sculpts, an evil expression, or evil grin, playful expression, and also a playful expression with his tongue out. Buu comes with 3 pair of hands, and he also comes with a chocolate bar. And the cape comes separate, which is in 3 pieces, which I will show shortly. So for the accessories, I want to start with which is my favorite accessory. And without a question, that's the chocolate bar. It is just done exceptionally well. The 3 squares, you can tell that the top has been melted or bitten into. And I really just like that the paper is pulled back. And underneath the paper, you can see the foil. This was just done exceptionally well. Bravo. I'm very happy that Bandai decided to give us 3 head sculpts. What I wish we would have seen was the air escaping from the holes in Buu head. That's the one head sculpt that I really would have loved to have with this figure. But since we've got 3, I'm not complaining. Just making an observation that I would have preferred one of these 2, perhaps switched out and giving us that, or even having an option to where we can plug it in. And I'll talk about that a little later. So while Buu doesn't come with a whole lot, in my opinion, he comes with just enough. I nearly forgot to include the cape, which comes in 3 parts. So I guess it's fair to count the cape as an additional accessory. As I'm sitting here about to give a final score, it just appeared to me that what's missing from the accessories is some sort of fireball effect. I'm not sure how I almost completely forgot about that part of it. So considering that Buu does not come with a fire effect piece, that will hinder the accessory score. So out of a score of 10, I will give Buu a 7 for accessories. So when it comes to SH Figuarts, in my opinion, there isn't a company that does it better when it comes to articulation. So let's see if this big guy lets us down or not. So for the head, we get some excellent movement. It's able to shift forward and back as well as to the side. You get a decent amount of pivot. The head is able to look up about that much, look down that much, and there's just some good overall rotation. So the arm is able to move up about that far. You get a uppercut in the bicep. You get a swivel in the wrist, which also hinge up and down as well as side to side. The elbow is single jointed, which bends in about that far, and it actually works fine for someone this big. With the waist, I was expecting to get more pivot than what I'm able to get here, but that's what you receive. Is able to go back about that much. Really can't tell. Forward about that much. The legs are able to kick all the way forward. This far backwards. Knees, I can't tell if they're single or double jointed, mainly because it's hindered by the plastic that's here, but they bend all the way up. You also get some upper rotation. You get lower rotation at the bottom of the boot or the foot. The foot is able to, nope, actually it's not able to go up. It is able to go down very slightly. The toe is able to go up, but it is not able to go down. It's able to rotate if I haven't showed that already. And you get a weird amount of, a weird movement. It sort of pivots in and out, but more so it just moves left and right. Oh, and the leg is able to come all the way out to the side as well. So the cape on Buu is also articulated. It's able to go up, down, move left as well as right. If you notice, my middle piece is not pegged in, and I'll explain why a little bit later in the video. But for overall articulation, Buu's a heavy guy. He's a relatively large figure. However, he moves extremely well. I'm able to get him in many of the poses that I want to. So for articulation, I'll be giving Buu an 8 out of 10. So Buu looks like he popped straight out of the television right into action figure form. Bandai has done an extraordinary job of capturing the likeness of Majin Buu and transforming him into what you see before us. The cotton candy pink ironically works well with the high yellow, dark purple, black, golds, and off-white. All three face sculpts capture a moment that I'm sure that each collector and fan of the series can remember. The majority of the joints are well covered and are hidden, making the big guy nearly appear seamless. So for design, I'm going to give Majin Buu a 10 out of 10. So is Majin Buu essential to your collection? Before I answer that question, I just want to talk about how refreshed I am to have a Dragon Ball Z figure other than Goku. For many years, Bandai has seemed very one-track minded, just producing the same figure or figures over and over again. So to have an iconic villain, one that I've been waiting for so long, and I know that's the same for many collectors, it's sort of like a weight off of your shoulder to simply have this guy part of my collection now. So to answer the question, is he essential? I'm going to give Majin Buu a 10 out of 10. So for functionality, I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. So the first, perhaps issue, if that's fair to say, would be the peg that's attached to the neck. It's very difficult for me to port this peg onto the head each time I attempt to do so. And of course on camera, it goes in the first time. All right, so the difficulty that I was having was each time that I would push the head down, the peg would fold, making it a bit difficult for me to be able to put it in place. The other reason that the peg was folding is because the neck is able to move as well. But of course, once I did it here, it worked perfectly fine. Another issue that I had, and let's see how it works, would be the cape. The cape comes in 3 parts. Each part has a peg on the back, which plugs into a hole. I'm having a very difficult time plugging this peg into this hole. It doesn't want to go directly in, and it just sort of feels that I'm going to break the plastic if I push anymore. So still, I'm unable to get it in, and I'm just going to leave it that way for now. So my next issue rather would be that this body is extremely hollow. Not that it's a bad thing. However, in certain situations, it doesn't work as good as it should. So when Buu is standing just like this, there is no issue. But the moment you start to pose him, he becomes very off balance, making it very easy for him to tip over. So having some added weight in the legs would help this figure a long way when it comes to posing him in certain stances. So now looking at the feet, I would have liked that the feet were able to collapse or extend fully so that you can put him in flying poses, but you're unable to. This is as much as the foot actually goes out. And also the pivot is a bit strange. So just having a proper pivot in the foot. So for functionality, I'm going to give Majin Buu a 7 out of 10. So one thing that I failed to mention as far as functionality, the ball peg on the arm joint is extremely large, which makes it so easy to plug the fist into place. I wish that more companies would use this method, and I wish that Bandai actually would have used that same size joint for the headpiece. It would have made it very easy. So for pricing, Buu retails at $80 US. I was able to snag mine off of eBay with a 15% discount for roughly a hair under 70 bucks. So now on to the important question, is he a pass or is he a purchase? So for accessories, Buu does not come with any blast effect pieces, which in my opinion is a necessity for any Dragon Ball Z figure. In addition, Buu does not come with any pieces or any head sculpt that shows the steam shooting off from his head. Not that it is a necessity, however, it would have been a fabulous piece to have with him. Buu is rather on the large side, not so much tall, more so wide. So anytime you receive a big figure, sometimes it makes you feel like it's worth the extra money to spend. However, with this particular guy, he is very hollow in the inside, and sometimes hollow gives the impression of cheap. So I do not think that Majin Buu is worth the $80 price point. However, this is a figure that any Dragon Ball Z collector must own. So if you're collecting the line, you have to have this figure. And I know that there's more than one Buu, and there are a few Buus that are coming out. But if I had to own one single Majin Buu figure, it would be this one. So for pricing, I'm going to give Buu a 6 out of 10, which gives Majin Buu a cliff score of 48 out of 60. Here's Majin Buu next to Gotenk, which I will be reviewing shortly. Here is Majin Buu next to the Marvel Legends thing, which I have already reviewed. So I just want to thank you for tuning in to my video. Make sure you stop by again. Also, for more toy information, please feel free to follow me on Instagram at Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop, excuse me. And again, thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you during the next review.